If you want to build a business that actually gives you freedom and a life that you're completely obsessed with, this video is for you. It's not strategy that gets you there. So don't think that this is another mindset hack or strategy course. It's your ability to follow through when no one's cheering for you, when the fear is strong, but you do it anyways. In this video, I'm gonna teach you how to tap into what I call your inner authority. Inner authority is simple. It's your ability to take action from within without waiting for the confidence, the clarity, or all the pieces to line up. It's this grounded sense of knowing that I don't have it all figured out, but I just need to move anyways. When you lead from inner authority, you stop overthinking, you stop freezing, you stop procrastinating, and you actually start building the life and business that you were meant to build. But here's the thing, most people don't tap into their inner authority, and it's not because they don't have access to it, it's because our brains and nervous systems were wired for survival, not success. Let me explain. Back in the caveman days, our brains were wired to keep us alive, to keep us safe, stop us from standing out, to stick with the tribe, to not take risks. And that same survival brain, the amygdala, it still runs the show today. But instead of being fearful of saber-toothed tigers, we're fearful of failure, judgment, being seen, the unknown. So every time we think about putting ourselves out there or trying something new, our brain and our nervous system are like, stop! And it's this loud voice inside your head, not your heart, not your full body, inside your head that's screaming, stop, that sends signals throughout your neural pathways, which then sits into your body and gives you that fear response, you know, that heavy breathing, that clenching of the fist, which then tells your brain and reads your brain and sends it the same message like, oh yeah, you're right. We need to freeze, we need to stop, we can't move forward. And it's not because you're weak that you haven't been able to tap into this. It's just that you haven't learned how to override that fear response yet. And that's what I'm gonna teach you how to do in this video. Inner authority isn't necessarily something that you need to go find. You don't need to, again, like meditate for 4 hours to hack into it. It's this boss system that's already inside of you that you just need to tap into. It's the bridge between who you are today and who you're becoming or who you want to be. I want you to think about Serena Williams, for example. It wasn't just raw talent that made her completely unstoppable. She had to make a decision to show up, to push through the pain, to push for progress every single day. You don't think that she woke up in the mornings having doubt, having fear going into that next match? Of course she did. Inner authority is that decision to move into aligned action even though fear is present, even though your body and your brain are saying stop. We make decisions from two different places, fear or intuition. And honestly, fear feels heavy. Fear looks like, what if I fail? It feels like you're stuck. You're always pushing, hustling. You're working till 4 o'clock in the morning and making zero progress. When we make decisions from intuition, from our inner authority, from our knowing, things come with ease. We know what the next step is without actually knowing what the next step is. The reason our brains are wired like this is even from youth. Step away from the caveman days. Think about in your childhood. You are taught to sit still, not stand out from the crowd. You were taught from an early age to operate from a place of fear, the fear of consequence. If you go against the grain, people are going to judge you. They're going to look at you weird. You're going to be outcasted in some way. The truth is, when you operate from a place of intuition, things feel easier. They feel aligned. Even though you don't have all the answers, you still feel like you know what to do. It's basically an internal compass where even though your brain is like, what is going on? The internal compass is still guiding you because you're not operating from that place of fear. Let's dive right into the tools that work really well to activate your inner authority. The first tool is to shift your state. So I'm talking your physical body. If you've ever seen a sad person, I want you to try this exercise with me right now. If you've ever seen a sad person, how do they stand? You know, they're probably a little bit hunched over, their head's probably drooped. Okay, so let's pretend that we're really sad right now, but we're just gonna change our body positioning. So I'm gonna stretch my arms, I'm gonna be really tall, okay? Instantly, my head is like forced to come up. And I'm laughing because I feel so ridiculous because I'm trying to look sad right now. Your physiological body can actually change the way you feel. It's really hard to feel sad or mad when you're like, ha! or standing up really tall, or stretching. Have you ever been so angry you just like want to punch a hole into the wall or throw something? Just try standing up really tall and see if you still have that sensation of wanting to step into that anger. Changing your physiological state will help you overcome that fear. When you get into that kind of like freeze and your chest tightens, just try to open up. Just open up. You're still in the fear, but open up. And what we're doing is we're physically teaching our brain and our nervous system that we don't need to be in that state. It starts to send a different message to our brain, a message of confidence. I don't know if you guys have ever seen any TED Talks or YouTube videos about power stance, but they work really well when you're lacking confidence, because when you change your physiological state, there's evidence that it actually changes your brain. It changes the neural network connections in your brain. So the more that you face situations that cause you fearful, the more that your brain pathways go towards the good, confident feelings, the strong stance ones, instead of the, I don't want to be seen, I want to be small. Once you move your body, the next step in this is to actually like shake it off and then ask yourself, what do I want to do today? What do I want to accomplish? What do I want my life to look like in 6 months? Because once you're in that confident state, start activating your brain into being open to the idea of change. What's really cool about this is when we activate our physiological body, as well as asking our questions, we're not only activating our sympathetic nervous system, but you're also activating your prefrontal cortex. So the logical thinking brain, the brain that's actually going to give you the ideas and the thoughts that you need. This is going to help you with focus, with energy and momentum. Because if you're constantly relying on motivation, which most people are, it doesn't work. A lot of people rely on the motivation of fear. Well, if I don't do this, I'll lose this. It's not sustainable. We talked about how fear-based decisions feel really chaotic, and aligned ones, the ones that come from our intuition, feel calm, you feel guided. There's another way to tap into our inner authority. This is getting grounded and getting clear. One exercise you can do is you can sit for 60 seconds. Now, if you're somebody like me that has like an ADHD brain where I'm just like constantly focusing on everything, this exercise can be really helpful if you have like the ticking of a clock or the sound of a water fountain. If you need something to focus your attention on because your brain is always full of thoughts, then this is a method that I work. So find something to focus on if that's your brain. If not, then just sit. For 60 seconds, you put one hand on your heart, one hand on your stomach, and you just ask yourself, if I already knew what was right, what would I choose? In this exercise, you're rewiring your brain for safety and trust. You're teaching your brain and your nervous system that it's okay to wonder. It's okay to think outside of the box. It is okay to challenge ourselves. Now, this one requires a little more explanation, but I call it the 5-4-3-2-1 method. And don't mix that up with the Mel Robbins 5-4-3-2-1 because we're going to talk about that one next. This is 5 deep breaths. Whenever you feel like you're operating from a place of fear and you're losing that momentum towards your goals, I want you to take 5 deep breaths from your stomach all the way up to your chest. So like you blow into your stomach and all the way up, you fill the air and then out. And you do that 5 times in a row. 4 box breathing. You do this while you're drawing a box. Okay, so you breathe in for 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 4, 2, 3, 4, out for 4, 2, 3, 4, in for 4. And the whole time that you're doing this box breathing, you're drawing a little box with your finger. You can draw it with a pencil, with a pen, whatever works for you. After you've done those 2 breathing is 3 seconds of stillness, just nothing. You don't move, you don't think, just trust your body to do what it needs to do. Then you follow that up with 2 affirmations. I am strong. I know what to do. I feel guided in this process. It is safe for me to do this. Whatever affirmations you want to come up with. And then after you do the 5, 4, 3, 2, you are going to take 1 aligned action. It can be small. It can be hitting post on that reel you weren't ready to send, or investing in the training that you want to help you start your online business. Something as simple as just writing out an idea for your online business. And if you need help coming up with an idea for your online business, I actually have a free training below. So check it out. It's really short. It's easy. In 10 minutes, it will take your life experiences, your knowledge, and it will turn it into 5 to 10 business ideas. Now, the 4th one, like I said, is also called the 5-4-3-2-1 method. It's actually a method from like the 1900s psychologists. Like we're talking back in the days of like Freudian and Carl Jung and all of those but Mel Robbins kind of coined this 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method. What I like to call it is actually micro-bravery, because what you're doing is you're taking little micro actions in a moment of fear. You give yourself 5 seconds before fear shuts your brain and body down to take actions. So as soon as you start to feel that onset of like, ooh, I can't do this, you go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go, and you just go. You just push yourself into it. Mel Robbins describes this beautifully in her podcast as a rocket ship launching. So whatever visualization you need to just like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And I like to call it micro action because what you're doing is you're just lifting off, just taking an action, just doing the damn thing. Once you build that momentum, you're seeing afterwards, it wasn't that hard because you have that 5-second period before your brain kicks in and stop. Take that 5 seconds, use it to just push yourself forward. The fifth one is asking yourself better questions. So when you're building anything, an online business, building your dream life, or honestly, this applies to any goal, ask yourself better questions. Choose to do in this moment if I wasn't afraid of judgment. What would I choose to do in this moment if I had all the answers, or if I knew that things were going to work out? One question you can ask yourself, is this decision going to move me closer to my goals? Let's say, for example, you're on a journey towards becoming your fittest self. You're going out with friends, but you've been doing really good. You've had a month of like clean eating and you're seeing progress. You're hesitant when you get out and you're like, well, you know, I want to fit in and I don't want to be judged, so I'm just going to eat that greasy food, even though I know it's going to make me feel sick, and I'm just going to binge drink with them because that's what they're doing. And in that moment, you can activate one of those other things we talked about, the breathing, the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, but ask yourself a meaningful question. Is this decision to binge drink with my friends going to get me closer to my goal? Just simply activating your brain into thinking will take you out of running on that emotion, that fear response of not fitting in. And once your brain is moving, you can consciously make a decision and be like, you know what? No, this doesn't feel aligned. This is not my inner authority speaking. This is my fear of not fitting in with my friends speaking instead. These are just a few methods to activate your inner authority, which will help you with any of your goals, including starting an online business. Every single time you follow through on aligned action, you are creating new neural pathways in your brains. It will become easier to overcome that fear response. Now, here's what most people don't realize. The reason we can't always tap into our inner authority isn't just because of fear, it's because of conditioning. We're dealing with something so much deeper. We are dealing with the way that we link either pain or pleasure to different situations and circumstances. These conditioning are so deeply rooted from childhood that we don't even know it's happening. We don't even know that we associate pain with a certain thing or pleasure with a certain thing. So in the next video, I'm going to walk you through how these, what I call neuro response loops, keep you stuck, how we can identify them, and then how we can move past them and rewire them. After we've done that work, our inner authority will just start running on autopilot, and we're not going to feel that hesitation anymore because we're going to be driven from a place that is conditioned to move towards our goals, where it feels pleasurable and at ease with who we are. If you want to stop sabotaging, stop feeling stuck, and start feeling successful and moving towards your goals, then I suggest subscribing to this channel. You are not going to want to miss that video next week. That is going to be a game changer, because what we've done here is we've set the stage, the understanding for how to tap into that inner authority. And now we're going to go deeper into the connections we've created. I would love for you to take a moment to drop into the comments one aligned action you're taking or one fear response that you are letting go of and saying goodbye. And for the comments above yours, please share those people on too. Let's build a community of support around this change so that we can all crush our goals together. If you want deeper support and you're ready to have some mentorship as well as a guide to walk you through starting your online business, start to finish, make sure you check out the description below. As always, I have an unwavering belief in your potential, and I wish you nothing but success.